It's not Chris Hart, it's Kevin Hart. I mean, really, it's okay. For some people, it's one of those weeks where you're still on holiday. Well, perhaps my brain is still on holiday as well. Oh my gosh, Chris Hart, do you think you can fill up the dome? I'm not sure. You can go and talk economics in the dome and see if you can fill it up. I don't think so. Anyway, okay, so between Phil and myself, it's Kevin Hart, please, not Chris Hart. Okay, as mentioned earlier, it's really a good day today for the 5th Proudly South African Buy Local Summit, and there's that expo taking place at the same time. We're going to now cross over to Palesa Chibwisi. She is talking to guests about promoting local products, and let's see how they're going to go about doing exactly that at the summit. Palesa, a very good morning to you.
Are we cool?
A very good morning to you, Leanne, and a very good morning to our viewers at home. You are right. We are coming to you live from the Sandton Convention Centre. It is the 4th National Buy Local Product Summit here. It's the summit and the expo at the same time. The message here is very clear because they're emphasizing the fact that the both private and public sector, as well as businesses and consumers as well, they must buy and use a Proudly South African product. So with me here is the CEO of Proudly South Africa, Advocate Leslie Sidibe. We'll also be talking to one of the business people here, small business people who will also be, have his products here in display at this expo. And he is Delayne. Great gentlemen, a very good morning to you and warm welcome to Morning Live. Let me start with you, Advocate Sidibe. Tell us more about the summit. How did it come about?
This is one of the flagship programs within Proudly South African, and what we seek to do is to create a platform for big business and small business to interact. One of the key challenges that we believe we face as a country is our ability to achieve economic growth. And the way to achieve economic growth, beyond issues of fiscal consolidation, which the Minister of Finance and National Treasury are busy with, it's really how we as South Africans can stimulate the economy and achieve this economic growth. And to achieve that economic growth, we believe it's important for every upstream economy to recognize the importance of the downstream economies. So small business is actually not small. It's actually big business, because if you look at leading economies across the world, over 60% of the jobs are created by the SME sector. And this is quite critical for us. We have a number of exhibitors here. Over 80% of the exhibitors today are South African small businesses. And then we've got major businesses such as ABSA, we've got Transnet, we've got Sasol, we've got Hisense. What we really want to do, we've got BMW. Now remember, BMW has just made a massive reinvestment into the country by opening a new production line for the X3. The 3 Series manufactured in South Africa, also exported to other parts of the world, such as the United States. So we believe that as Proudly South African, we have a good story to tell. And this is what we are going to do today.
Well, it is indeed a good story to tell. But now, the initiative started back in 2011. How has the response been?
The response has been amazing. So as you can see, we now occupy an entire floor in the Sandton Convention Centre. We started very small. We're 5 years old. In 10 years' time, we believe that we'll be occupying the entire Sandton Convention Centre. And what drives us is a very simple message. It's what makes South Africa and what South Africans make. This is really what this is about. We have the capacity to do it. We can move from just being good to great. This is what Jim Collins tells us. And this is really what we are seeking to do. We are an amazing country. There's a lot going on for us as a country. We are very excited as an organization that we've been able, in the limited time that we've had in the past 5 years, where we find small young guys come up to the summit, come up to the expo. 3 years down the road, the guy has a major contract with one of the leading retailers in the country. That for us is a good story to tell, where you find big business is able to interact with small business, and it's a networking opportunity. This is not a social and another conference where we're just going to talk. We want to come out of this place with concrete proposals of how we are going to help government and the country to achieve the economic growth that we all desperately need.
So I hear that you do have stories to tell. Businesses have succeeded, those that came to exhibit previously. But let me just bring you in here at Delayne. Is it your first time here at the summit?
Yes, at this particular summit it is that we're displaying and that we've got our product on display.
What are you displaying and what are you hoping to achieve?
Firstly, it's in support of what Leslie has said, the Proudly South African campaign. That's something that's close to our heart as a business and to me as an individual. So firstly, it's in support of the project that is at hand. And furthermore, it is for us just to have an opportunity to engage with other local South African businessmen and women. And for us, we're a little bit bigger than some of the others, for us to encourage them and to show our success of if you push through, if you continue, and if you actually do wear that South African logo on your body, on your business, that you do succeed and you do have benefit. So we really believe in what we're doing here today.
But I think at the same time, it's also about the consumers, how we respond to the products that are produced here in the country. How has the response been? Are we really, because there's always a perception that, the perception of quality that, products produced here are not of high quality. How is the response from the consumer side of you?
Well, being a South African myself, I'm a consumer to start with. And as a businessman, I produce a product. And in answer to that, there is absolutely nothing to fear by buying local products. In fact, there are many local products, ours being one such product, that is of a higher quality than anything that you can bring in from cheaper bases. So as a consumer, there has to be no fear in buying local. The other thing that I'd just say is we speak of being South African consumers. We also have to understand that the products that are made out of South African bases are exported. And for them to be exported, they have to be of a value and of a quality sufficient to meet the international market. And that, I think, is something that I'm very proud of as our business stands. We don't only manufacture, but we export these products.
I see you wanted to come.
He's been very modest. We're faced with a drought situation in the country. It's one of the challenges that we face. They manufacture tanks, water tanks. And he was just telling me now that they are actually exporting to New Caledonia. Some of their products end up in other parts of not only the African continent, but other parts of the world. So there is global demand for South African goods. This is our message. Yeah. We need to learn to beneficiate. We need to learn to export finished products, not just raw materials. I mean, I was in China about 2 weeks ago. I was shocked to find out that South African diamonds constitute 8% in terms of volume, but in terms of the monetary value, in China, South African diamonds are worth over 25%, which basically means that to the Chinese, the best diamonds are from South Africa. Yeah. South African diamonds are the best. And that's what they told us. That's the message that we come home with. To say that one of the things that we need to do, beneficiate our raw material so that we don't just export these goods and then they come back and we pay more. We are not as an organization opposed to importation. But what we are saying is we need to massively reduce our consumption of imported goods, because when we do that, effectively, we are exporting South African jobs. We are not contributing to the story of South Africa. It doesn't help the trade deficit. The trade deficit. We have a massive deficit. When you look at our trade baskets, as a country, we are buying more goods that are made from outside South Africa than we are buying goods of our own. And this calls for a mindset change amongst our people. Please, Bahesu, buy South African goods.
There you have it. He's got a lot to tell regarding our products produced here in South Africa. That's Advocate Leslie Sidibe. He is the CEO of Proudly South Africa, and we're also talking to Delayne Gray. He's one of the business people who are having their products exhibited here at the summit. That's basically what we have for you for now, but we are going to come back in the next hour to give you more updates on the summit. But now let's take an ad break.